He also promised to drain the swamp in Washington, shrink the government, fight for workers, unleash American energy, repeal Obamacare, dismantle and immediately select a Supreme Court justice, and let Americans keep more of their hard-earned money. But he did manage to step on his message a little bit.
Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign. Total fabrication. The events never happened. Never. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over.
Of course, the media seized on that instead of his popular policy proposals. Overall, this was a populist policy pitch to spark his closing argument just 17 days out. It frames the race as the patriotic renegade with the power of the people at his back, taking on the corrupt political media and corporate establishment in this country face on. Speaking of corrupt, more damaging Wikileaks emails continue to rock the Clinton campaign. Hot off the presses, in 2014, Clinton emailed confidential intelligence information about Libya and the Middle East to her campaign chair, John Podesta's unsecured email. According to all experts, this is a blatant national security violation. Also, it's been discovered the Clinton Foundation paid women less than men. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Earlier, I spoke with editor at townhall.com and Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. So here are some of the political revelations. Hillary Clinton hates everyday Americans. They referred to Hispanics as needy Latinos. Bernie Sanders is a doofus. Hard to argue with that one. The Clinton campaign pushed the Obama Muslim narrative, which they had denied.
Right.
And she takes a public and a private position on things. And we all know the campaign was caught denigrating Catholics.
Right.
So, Katie, when you look at this and you combine this with saying that Bernie Sanders supporters are basement dwellers and Trump people are a basket of deplorables, this party and Hillary Clinton, it's probably the most snobby campaign I've ever seen. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think politically, when you look at the emails that had the most impact in terms of what we've seen on the campaign trail with Hillary is the first and one of the last that you pointed out, and that is that she doesn't relate to everyday Americans. She's been in Washington, D.C. for 4 decades, and that's been an issue for her in connecting to everyday regular voters. Donald Trump has been able, as a billionaire, to connect to the regular everyday man and worker, which has been beneficial to him. Hillary Clinton can't do that, and when she tries to, it comes off as very fake, and it's because it's not who she is, as we've seen on the campaign trail, but also now through these emails.
Yeah, imagine a billionaire as a man of the people. Up next, we have the media revelations. Let's start with Hillary being fed an actual debate question. We know that was Donna Brazile, the DNC chairwoman and CNN contributor. We have debate moderator John Harwood over at CNBC in the tank for Hillary, completely bragging about taking down Donald Trump. We have the media letting Democrats edit stories. These are actually Politico, the New York Times, the Washington Post, running by stories before they're published with the campaign and the White House. And we have Hillary Clinton's campaign whining and dining the media with off-the-record dinners, trying to frame the campaign launch. I mean, Katie, we all know the media is corrupt, but now we have proof. But the people that are supposed to tell the American people about the proof are the ones that are corrupt. So that's why we're not even hearing about it.
Well, of course. I think actually the media side of the emails is the least surprising. The mainstream media, of course, has collusion with the Democratic Party. That's the reason why Andrew Breitbart called the media an extension of the Democratic Party, because it is. But that being said, Republicans have known about this for years. Ronald Reagan won his election. George W. Bush won his election as a result of taking on a media that was against him. So I think Donna Brazile, in terms of the consequences for her, will maybe have to resign from the DNC as a result.
And if you watch later on in the show, I actually confront Ms. Brazile about the feeding of the debate questions. You're going to watch that as well. So let's go next. Corruption. All right, this is a big one. The Obama Department of Justice colluding with the Clinton campaign, kind of giving them a heads up about when emails are being released. We have the Clinton campaign strategizing over how to cover up the emails, whether to delete some, whether to keep some. And then my favorite is take the money. The Clinton campaign actually saying, take the money from foreign government lobbyists, which not even the Obama administration does. And another great quote, make George Soros happy. We all know the billionaire Democratic donor. And the Moroccan government pay-for-play situation where I think $12 million is pledged to the Clinton Foundation in exchange for a Clinton Foundation conference in that country. Let me ask you this, Katie. Are any of these revelations criminal, in your opinion?
Well, I think so, and I think it goes to the more serious issue of people truly believing that not just many of the institutions that we have in government are corrupt, but one of the very most important institutions, which is the Justice Department, a place where justice is supposed to be blind. And it's very scary considering the Justice Department worked with the IRS during the Obama administration to persecute conservatives because they had a different, political belief system than the president. And I don't doubt that Hillary would do the same should she become president.
Yeah, that's why Americans have no faith in the institutions anymore. So hot off the corruption stuff, we have national security revelations. Let's take a look at some of those. Hillary wants open borders. And Syrian refugees cannot be fully vetted, yet she wants to bring in about 100,000 more. The bin Laden raid leaks, apparently she gave a big speech to some bankers and divulged some information that had never been disclosed publicly. And the chairman of the Clinton campaign said it would have been better if a terrorist was a white man, referring to the San Bernardino shooter. What strikes you here? I mean, for the San Bernardino thing, to wish the terrorist was a white guy just shows you how delusional this party is about Islamic terrorism. Right.
Well, the first issue that jumps out to me in relation to the debate we had just this week, Hillary Clinton said that she didn't want, during the debate, to let in refugees that weren't vetted, that we couldn't, that were dangerous to society. And then she pulled the whole, well, I'm not going to shut the door on women and children, ignoring the fact that the vast majority of these, quote, refugees are military-aged males. And so for her in the emails to admit, rightfully so, that we cannot vet these people, which the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have stated, and then at the debate this week in front of 70 million plus Americans who are trying to make their tough decision about who they're going to vote for in a couple of weeks, to lie again about it is really egregious considering the threat that it poses to everyday American people.
Now, quickly, the juiciest bit for last, the personal stuff that we got out of this. Here we go. Bill's sex life could be quote-unquote damaging. No surprise there. Chelsea Clinton is a spoiled brat who will say one thing and then stab you in the back. Apologies are Hillary's Achilles heel. Also, no surprise there. And Hillary is, quote, often confused and, quote, naps. Wow. Now, for the commander-in-chief to be often confused and napping, I don't know if that inspires a lot of confidence. What do you think about that?
I didn't see any emails in there about yoga. Weren't we supposed to see some yoga emails about what she was doing?
35,000 of them were about yoga.
Right. Maybe those are still coming. I mean, I still don't see any details of Chelsea sweating, which is what Hillary Clinton claimed she was deleting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a lesson for all of us in terms of our email. Don't say personal things that would come back to bite you in the end.
Well, I know if your emails ever came out, Katie, you'd have nothing to worry about because you're squeaky clean.
Total angel. Yes, indeed.
I got to go. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jesse.
Up next, Democratic operatives caught bragging about rigging elections. We will show you the tape. Plus, Water's World confronts Democrats in the debate spin room.
Jennifer, quick question. Are you going to apologize for mocking Catholics?
They have not responded. Joining me now, co-hosts of The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle, Fox News contributor Pete Hegseth, Democratic strategist Nomiki Kunst, and the executive producer of Imus in the Morning, Bernard McGurk. So, now, Mickey, you would agree that the Democratic Party rigged the primary for Bernie, correct?
For Bernie?
Against
Bernie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what makes you think that the Democratic Party wouldn't rig the general against Trump?
It's a little bit more complicated. First thing...
Is it?
Yes, because general elections have oversight. There's legal oversight, and primaries are done by private parties. Now, what happened in these videos, of course, Project Veritas has a complicated history of splicing and dicing videos. A lot of Democratic operatives don't know who this guy was. And quite frankly, I mean, it's not anything that Roger Stone hasn't done over the years. He's been doing this stuff since his first campaign.
Well, the other guy in the video
Nixon.
Named Creamer was at the White House about 100 times, met with the president as a convicted felon. So I don't think, they're all clean here. Speaking of rigged elections, I think I remember President Obama talking about election rigging back in 2008. Let's roll the tape.
Well, I tell you what, it helps in Ohio that we got Democrats in charge of the machines. But look, I come from Chicago, so I want to be honest. It's not as if it's just Republicans who have monkeyed around with elections in the past. Sometimes Democrats have too.
You look like you've monkeyed around in a few elections. You look like a ballot box stuffer McGurk.
Speaking of which, they try to undermine and discredit these videos by saying that this O'Keefe guy was a convicted felon. And as somebody with a lot of friends and family who are convicted felons, I'm outraged at that.
That's right. Leave the felons alone.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Shorty up in the BX. Stay strong. But listen, Hillary Clinton said that she was horrified by Donald Trump saying he wouldn't accept the election results, the upcoming election. This is a woman who said that George Bush was selected, not elected.
Right.
A woman who not only, Donna Brazile provided the questions, she accepted the questions from CNN that were stolen from CNN. That's horrifying, Hillary Clinton. And plus what your husband did in the Oval Office. That's horrifying.
And I wouldn't put anything past these people, because if they can pay people to incite violence and fight at a Trump rally, can they pay women to accuse Donald Trump of messing around? Would you put that past them?
Well, you wouldn't put anything past them, and that's the point, because they've pretty much have been caught and complicit in a wide variety of schemes and manipulations, and that's why Trump's been going with this theme that it's rigged. It's rigged by the mainstream media. It's rigged by the Clinton campaign. It's rigged across the board. So that's why he's saying he wouldn't certify until the election is certified. He would not accept the results. But when you see this type of thing, obviously there's also a consciousness of guilt, because people were let go and fired from the campaign.
Right.
They say the videos are doctored, then why is everyone getting fired and resigning?
If they're so innocent, why are you letting them go? So in that sense, I mean, as a lawyer, when you look for these things as a prosecutor, come on. There's not just one incident, there's multiple.
Exactly. And Pete, it's not just about rigging elections and stuffing ballot boxes. He's saying the system is rigged because when you have NBC with the October surprise, when you have the media colluding with the Democrats, when you have the FBI letting Hillary off the hook, it's a whole amalgamation of crooked dealings that Trump is saying it's all rigged, not just at the ballot box.
Exactly, and that's what he said today in his speech at Gettysburg. He rolled out the fact that if they could do this to me, if they could do it to a billionaire with millions of Twitter followers who's got a lot of power and a lot of influence in the media, then they could do it to you and they could do it to everybody else, which is exactly what they do. And look at the left. This is the party that constantly fights purging of voter rolls. Got to keep the dead folks on the voter rolls.
That's right.
Oh, come on.
They do. In state by state.
Name one dead folk that
they also
voted.
fight voter ID laws state by state.
This has been fact-checked to death.
No, tell me
By who? The same people that
PolitiFact.
said Obama, when he said you could keep your health care plan if you like it, the same people that said that was true?
PolitiFact, Politica, Washington Post, all the journalists who went to school for journalism.
The same journalists that were in bed with the Clinton campaign on the Wikileaks emails.
No,
trust
not
those
at
people?
all. Washington Post has reported on that. Politico has gone through essays on this.
Are those honestly objective news sources?
The Washington Post is letting the Clinton campaign edit stories. Okay, no, Mickey, but listen, I love what you're saying, but we got to run.
Okay.
Coming up, how does Hillary Clinton treat the agents who protect her? One of the agents is here to tell us. And later, Water's World crashes the debate in Vegas.
Ms. Brazile, did you really feed a debate question to Hillary?
Clinton says Donald Trump doesn't have the character to be president of the United States, but does she? New FBI documents reveal the contemptuous way Hillary Clinton treats the people charged with serving and protecting her. Joining me now is former Secret Service officer Gary Byrne, who served 12 years as a uniformed officer at the White House. Gary's also the author of Crisis of Character. So, Gary, when you were at the White House with the Clintons, I mean, you must have seen everything. Did they ever, like, throw a lamp at you or anything like that? What did you witness?
Well, nothing was ever thrown at me, but I do tell a story in my book where the Clintons get in a bad argument one night, and there's a crashing sound, and then the next day, when it's investigated, they find a broken blue vase. I actually saw the blue vase in the curator's office, and then later that day, when the president came over to the Oval Office, he actually had a black eye that he was clearly trying to conceal under makeup. So the facts were that there was a black eye, there was a big fight, and there was a crashing broken vase.
And Bill was notorious for using the Arkansas state troopers to arrange dalliances while he was the governor of that state. Did you notice anything amiss when you were at the White House with the former president?
Well, yeah, of course, I ended up testifying in the Monica Lewinsky case, where he was having an affair with the intern Monica Lewinsky, and I was actually subpoenaed 6 times in that case, and eventually ordered to testify by Supreme Court justice. So I did see that, and I saw some other things that led me to believe that everything that we heard from the people in Arkansas ended up being true. It's just kind of like they took the roadshow, to Washington, D.C.
We also have some new information from this FBI report that Hillary Clinton, when she got to the State Department, lifted some furniture and took it back to her townhouse in Georgetown. Now, we all remember she was accused of stealing, I think it was china or silverware from the White House when she left for Chappaqua. She's got some sticky fingers, Mrs. Clinton, doesn't she?
Yeah, there was also some furniture involved in that, too.
Really?
And it's not like this furniture. It's not like the stuff that you and I buy from Bed Bath & Beyond. This is stuff that has some significant, historical value. And
I do not shop at Bed Bath & Beyond. Let the record show.
Okay.
I'm doing a little bit better than I used to. No offense to Bed Bath & Beyond. They got great products.
But the White House curator's office and the mansion, the usher's office, couldn't get the furniture back until they basically embarrassed them in the news, and then they got the stuff back.
Yeah, they had to be shamed into giving it back. Was Hillary ever verbally abusive to people? Because we hear stories, especially from this new FBI report, that people would try to leave her detail because of her attitude. Did you witness any of that?
Absolutely. It became so hostile working with her sometimes that some of the agents, actually, the Secret Service at that time had its kind of passive-aggressive management style, and they actually used to tell agents, if you don't give us A, B, or C, we'll put you on the First Lady's detail. They actually used it as a form of punishment.
That was a form of punishment. Okay. And now the entire country is at risk of being punished if Hillary Clinton is now Commander-in-Chief. Gary, thank you very much, and we'll all check out the book. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Still to come, Waters World crashes Wednesday night for the third and final presidential debate. And as always, I caused a little trouble. Make America great again.
That's right. Let's go, Donald Trump.
So, you getting pumped for the big debate tonight?
Oh, clearly.
You don't look too excited.
We're actually going to Britney Spears.
The Trump you see in the media taking all these slings and arrows, is that the Trump you know personally?
No, it isn't. Trump is a guy that loves America so much and the American people so much that he put up his own money. He's willing to take these kind of hits that he's been taking, not because he needs it for his ego or anything like that.
One of the things about Donald, look, he's called Washington a swamp. I call it what happens when you own a yacht. It's an open money pit. You just keep pouring money in and they keep spending it. And he will watch the pennies.
So someone that spends millions and millions of dollars is actually tight with money. What do you think you could pawn me for?
I don't know. You look high maintenance. We usually don't take that kind of stuff.
You're very perceptive. Has Donald Trump ever tried to pawn something in here?
We're voting for Chum this year. Yeah, vote Chum. Make America late.
And I was just hoping that Trump would just take no prisoners as he went in there, and I believe that he accomplished that. He did great.
Cuban, are you worried that if he is elected president that he is going to try to deport you?
Yeah, I'm Thrilled.
Is that why you're here?
That's why I'm here, because I wanted to see what you'd be wearing, Jesse Waters.
How do I look?
You look pretty damn good. I'm kind of impressed.
The Apprentice did not win an Emmy. Is that what Trump is saying when he says the system is rigged, do you think?
Obviously not. That was a joke. We can send a man to the moon. We can do all kinds of fantastic medical procedures, but we can't verify the voting? Of course we can, if we really wanted to.
I think he hit her really hard, particularly when she stupidly said that there were violence at his rallies. He said, yes, you paid for them.
She walked right into that one.
Yeah, that was, I would consider, a knockout blow.
Ms. Brazil, did you really feed a debate question to Hillary?
You know, sir, I've heard a lot of lies in my life, and I keep hearing them every day.
So that wasn't you on the email?
Sir, first of all, there's no proof, and there will never be any proof that I've ever received any questions in advance.
Jennifer, quick question. Are you going to apologize for mocking Catholics? Yes or no? Guess no. Who do you think won the debate?
Honestly, I really don't care who won the debate, because either way, this country's go Trump!
I'm gonna say Clinton. She's been winning all the debates.
Don't you want to make America great again?
You know, I do, but maybe not that way.
Do you know who I am, officer?
No, I do not.
You are the greatest man alive.
I'm going to stop it right there. So here's my assessment. Trump won the debate, but he needed a knockout. Donald did show his policy chops, and Hillary was exposed as an incompetent radical, especially on guns, babies, and Syria. But the Democratic media machine castigated Trump for his blunt talk about accepting election results, and those headlines dominated. Here are the facts. NBC's October surprise hurt Trump with women. Trump's so-called scandals are just more salacious than Hillary's. Emails and corruption are boring. Sex isn't. Even worse, the press covers all of Trump's drama and covers up all of Hillary's. Wikileaks is a prime example. Networks covered the Trump tape over Wikileaks by a margin of 7-1. Another reason why the system is rigged. This election should be about the economy and a referendum on the Obama-Clinton legacy, which is pathetic. But it's become a race focused on the challenger's rough style instead. But I believe the American people are beginning to see past the media hacks. This is a change election, and voters care more about their salary than morality. Trump is up 16 points with independents. Democratic enthusiasm is at a 16-year low. The economy is weak, terror is on the rise, and nearly 3/4 of voters are unhappy with the direction of the country. Donald Trump is actually ahead or tied in the most respected national daily tracking polls. You can see them here. And the IBD poll, showing Trump up by 2, was the most accurate last election. And if you look at the states, Trump is ahead in the crucial swing state of Ohio, but behind in red state Arizona. Something is definitely going on here with these polls. They're all over the map, because if you look at the big media, they're hyping their own polls that show Hillary up by an average of 6. But remember, Mitt Romney was up 6 with 3 weeks left and lost by 4. So let's assume Hillary's ahead. The race is never stabilized. Take a look at the track record of Trump comebacks. 3-week surges since May have launched Donald Trump back into the lead. But with 3 weeks to go, Trump, if you believe the trends, is poised to close strong. I could be wrong. This race is not over yet, especially with WikiLeaks, James O'Keefe, and unknown outside events ready to shape the race. Coming up, Joe Biden threatens to punch out Donald Trump. Will the press even cover it? Trump of being racially divisive and inciting violence. But do Democrats get a pass? Here's Bill Clinton riffing on white guys.
The press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish.
That was actually Joe Biden threatening to punch out Donald Trump. But we do have Bill Clinton, again, riffing on white guys.
How do all these folks, guys like me, all these old gray-haired white guys, how do they think our Social Security is going to hand out and our Medicare is going to be funded?
Joining me once again, Kimberly, Pete, Nomiki, and Bernard. Let's start with what's important here. Pete, who would win in a fight, Trump or Biden?
Oh, Trump, yeah.
You think so?
Oh,
yeah, he'd go violent quick, which is the key to winning.
Rage.
The first one that gets violent wins.
What do you think?
Yes, also height advantage and long arms. Yeah.
You got the reach?
Sure, yeah.
You agree with that?
Biden couldn't beat up Barron Trump. No contest.
Well, because also Barron Trump's taller already at this point. I mean, he's unbelievable.
He's smarter, probably, too.
Biden looked like instead of taking his his blood pressure medicine, he took his ED pill and went out on the stump and took that after a couple of pops. That's what it looked like.
Yes.
It does look
what
like that.
What he means is Trump is also very high energy naturally.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right.
And has very big hands. You could strangle him with those hands.
Oh, my God.
No, Miki, let's talk about something here. We've had the left, riot and loot and attack police officers, and now they're picking fights at Trump rallies. The vice president's talking about punching out the Republican nominee. The violence seems to be coming from your side of the table. Am I wrong?
I think Joe Biden, Vice President Joe Biden, who has great teeth, which is why I would bet on him in a fight, because...
What, is he going to bite
him?
Trump?
Yeah. There are no rules in this election.
He does
clearly.
Fight dirty. The Democrats like to do that.
There are no rules in this election.
He's
Irish, a good Irish guy. No, I mean, listen, it's happening on both sides. I think that Donald Trump has called for his own supporters to go and attack journalists. He cages journalists, puts them in a pen in his own rallies.
Well, I think Hillary ties them up, so I think it's a draw.
So she hides in the Scooby van.
That's right. Everything Donald Trump says we have to take literally and then hyperventilate about.
Right.
But then if Joe Biden says something, it's just a hypothetical fun thing. Joe Biden also...
It's a double standard.
Of course, it's a complete double standard. Yeah. But Joe Biden forgets that his party is all for the anti-bullying legislation. You can't take anybody behind anymore.
Could you imagine if Trump had said this? You'd have panels about bullying. You'd have the Secret Service being asked what they're going to do.
Like kickball's outlawed in this country.
You can't do anything.
No
football.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Plus, he was talking about what Trump said. This video of Joe Biden doing groping women on tape, in swearing-in ceremonies. No, it's out there on tape. You've seen it.
It's adorable.
He's a handsy guy.
He's a very handsy guy. Somebody can shut up.
He's hands-on.
Does it to men, too.
Biden did the tantric shoulder massage. Did you see that?
It was a pressure point. He was just trying to relieve a little tension. And then also, let's go to Bill Clinton here, because this is fresh off of him saying the redneck line, and now you have the white guys. You remember Joe Biden says that Republicans want to put blacks back in chains. They can say whatever they want about race, but someone says one tiny thing. Trump says, the Latinos, they love me, and all of a sudden he's super insensitive. What's with the double standard here?
And Hillary's team calls them needy Latinos.
Hillary says needy Latinos, calls them Taco Bowl voters. I mean, what is this?
Hey, how about
I want those people out of the party.
How about Hillary Clinton and Bill de Blasio earlier this year at a function similar to the Catholic dinner?
Yeah.
They did a joke about CP time that was highly racist and swept under the rug. Nobody cared about it.
No. We were enraged. That's not true.
Total double standard.
I think that
What
we're
is
not
CP
listening.
time, Nomiki?
I'm not going to say it. You can Google it on your own. It's not appropriate. I don't encourage it. But I think that what we're missing here is that there's a whole side of the Democratic Party that just doesn't want that kind of language. There's no excuse on the right or the left. I think the difference is that the Democrat Party is for empowering minorities and people of color and women.
I think the difference is that the media lets you guys slide and takes literally everything the Republicans
say. Yeah, the difference is the left is so self-righteous with the media on their side that they can say whatever they want.
That's right. Because you guys run a
Bernie Sanders
protection
about
racket.
that.
Stick around. Up next, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton ripping each other at a fancy dinner in Manhattan. Wait till you see this. Who was that? Was that Maria Bartiromo in the back in the red dress?
Yes.
Was that Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo with the white gloves?
Yes, she looked fantastic, didn't she?
Looking great.
White gloves. Is that what you wear to a white tie event?
Beautiful James Bond movie in Monaco or something.
Very, very,
Gina Lollobrigida is who she looked like. Actually, listen, that was funny than anything I've seen on Comedy Central since Jon Stewart left. That was a brilliant night. I mean, it humanized this is how we should decide presidential elections from now on, is 3 major roasts instead of these dispiriting
I mean, it humanized Hillary. That is a very tall bar there.
And Trump was laughing at the
Trump was very, very, I mean, he's done a roast before, so he's used to that.
I like the pardon me.
Yes. I bumped into Hillary backstage. She said, pardon me. I said, wait till afterwards.
It's so amazing that whole narrative everywhere but here is that, Trump was booed and everything. I mean, in reality, you've got elite New York City audience looking to boo whatever they can.
Right.
Trump was funny. He did a great job.
He did a great job. And it's funny how Trump can then say, I'm going to put this woman in jail, and then like a day later, like toast champagne. I mean, it just shows how great our democracy is.
And she was also, after he appeared first, social media lit up, cable news was like, how dare Donald Trump do that? She came on, was just as vicious, and they had to all shut their mouths because it was actually a good, even, fair night. And again, that's the way we should decide to be.
It was. And let's be honest, they all have joke writers that do those jokes for them, so they're not really that funny.
Jesse, you should get some.
I should. I need some. All right. That is it for us this evening. Thank you for joining us. Water's World show is over. Don't remember, Justice Janine is next, and Kimberly's in for the judge tomorrow night. And check out Pete tomorrow morning. He's hosting Fox Friends. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember, I am Waters, and whose world is this?
Baby.
It's yours. This is my world, right?
Hillary Clinton speaking to reporters on the way from one campaign event to another in Pennsylvania. Let's play it.
Today, we're making our closing argument. We're talking about what's at stake in the election. We're drawing contrasts, but we're giving people something to vote for, not just against. And I saw where our opponent, Donald Trump, went to Gettysburg, one of the most extraordinary places in American history, and basically said if he's president, he'll spend his time suing women who have made charges against him based on his behavior. Tim and I are going to keep talking about what we want to do if we're given the great honor of serving as president and vice president. And as we said in the book we put out together, Stronger Together, we have very specific plans, and we're going to get to work the day after the election and do everything.
She is on her way to an event later tonight in Philadelphia with her vice presidential pick, Senator Kaine. Meantime, Donald Trump is holding a rally with running mate Mike Pence in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's listen briefly.
This is her allies saying this. The emails also show her staff saying she has no core. She has no core. That's because she just does whatever her donors and special interests want her to do. We're not too happy with her, I will tell you. Look, it's a rigged system. That's how she got to run. It's a rigged system. The whole entire purpose of her campaign is to keep our system rigged and to stop change from happening at any cost. And we need change. We are about change. She is about keeping it the way it is. And we don't want to have 4 more years of Obama. That we can tell you. Just take a look at her record. She's been there, think of this. She's been there for 30 years and hasn't fixed anything. She's unleashed death, destruction, and failure in every country she touched in the Middle East. Iraq, Libya, Syria, Iran. Hillary's catastrophic failures unleashed ISIS, right? The great vacuum that she and Obama created, which is now on a campaign of genocide against Christians in the Middle East and all over the world. They're in 32 countries. When they started, during her tenure as Secretary of State, when they started as a little group. Remember the JV? Obama called them the JV. They're now in 32 countries, and now I watch as Hillary Clinton says, I'm going to stop ISIS. Why didn't she stop it in the first place?
Okay, so there you go. There's Donald Trump. He is actually in Cleveland, Ohio, where he is getting a lead up on Hillary Clinton. She's in Pennsylvania, where she happens to be leading. And as you heard me, as my mic was turned back up, I believe Hillary Clinton, and we're going to confirm this, is going to North Carolina next, where she is in fact leading. So they've got all these critical states that they need to win over, especially those undecideds. So you got Florida and North Carolina, which right now, it's neck and neck. You've got Ohio, where, of course, Donald Trump desperately needs that state, and he's speaking tonight, and where he does have a lead there. And then you've got Hillary Clinton in Pennsylvania. And this is just now going to continue with more and more of these rallies happening now that the 3 debates are over. And so now they have a very small window to convince any of those voters out there who still don't know who they're voting for come November 8th. And by the way, if I didn't say it already, Fox News Sunday tomorrow, you got to tune in because both of their campaign advisors, their campaign spokespeople are going to be speaking. So both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will have their representatives speaking tomorrow. So it'll be interesting what they have to say. Meantime, WikiLeaks. Hillary Clinton, more bad news for her, tweeting today about their Clinton email hack, saying that had they gotten the emails sooner, voters would actually be choosing between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders on Election Day. This, as a newly obtained video, shows the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton lecturing her staff on the importance of cybersecurity, despite questions about her very own use of a private server as Secretary of State. Molly Henneberg is live in Washington tonight. So, Molly, what did Clinton tell State Department employees?
Hi, Julie. She told them to follow the rules when it comes to emails and computers. This was long before the nation knew about Hillary Clinton had her own private email server when she was Secretary of State. Here's a video from 2010 obtained by FoxNews.com.
I think this is a responsibility we all share as Americans, but as State Department employees, we have a special duty to guard ourselves and our sensitive information. Potential hackers use all kinds of strategies to exploit cyber vulnerabilities and to penetrate the department's systems.
As Fox News has reported previously, an internal 2011 State Department cable shows Clinton's office once told employees not to use personal email for security reasons. Julie?
And Molly, a lot more WikiLeaks emails released this week. And now WikiLeaks says that it actually had, those emails, but had they had them earlier, this may have been a much different election.
Yes, some of the new WikiLeaks documents describe, for example, foreign money coming into the Clinton Global Initiative. That's Clinton's family charity, including $12 million from the King of Morocco in exchange for the charity holding a meeting in Morocco in 2015. Huma Abedin, Clinton's top aide, emails advisors saying, quote, the condition upon which the Moroccans agreed to host the meeting was her participation. If HRC, that's Hillary Rodham Clinton, was not part of it, meeting was a non-starter. CGI, that's the Clinton Global Initiative, also wasn't pushing for a meeting in Morocco, and it wasn't their first choice. This was HRC's idea. Meanwhile, a tweet from WikiLeaks today suggests these hacked emails could have made a difference in the Democratic primary, saying, quote, leak early, leak often. If WikiLeaks had obtained Clinton emails earlier, U.S. voters could have chosen Sanders v. Trump. So do it now. In response, Clinton's National Press Secretary Brian Fallon tweeted, quote, WikiLeaks makes its Trump...
Overall, this was a populist policy pitch to spark his closing argument just 17 days out. It frames the race as the patriotic renegade with the power of the people at his back, taking on the corrupt political media and corporate establishment in this country face on. Speaking of corrupt, more damaging WikiLeaks emails continue to rock the Clinton campaign. Hot off the presses, in 2014, Clinton emailed confidential intelligence information about Libya and the Middle East to her campaign chair, John Podesta's unsecured email. According to all experts, this is a blatant national security violation. Also, it's been discovered the Clinton Foundation paid women less than men. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Earlier, in the tank for Hillary, completely bragging about taking down Donald Trump. We have the media letting Democrats edit stories. These are actually Politico, the New York Times, the Washington Post, running by stories before they're published with the campaign and the White House. And we have Hillary Clinton's campaign whining and dining the media with off-the-record dinners, trying to frame the campaign launch. I mean, Katie, we all know the media is corrupt, but now we have proof. But the people that are supposed to tell the American people about the proof are the ones that are corrupt. So that's why we're not even hearing about it.
Well, of course. I think actually the media side of the emails is the least surprising. The mainstream media, of course, has collusion with the Democratic Party. That's the reason why Andrew Breitbart called the media an extension of the Democratic Party.
Do you agree with that?
Well, I think politically, when you look at the emails that had the most impact in terms of what we've seen on the campaign trail with Hillary is the first and one of the last that you pointed out, and that is that she doesn't relate to everyday Americans. She's been in Washington, D.C. for 4 decades, and that's been an issue for her in connecting to everyday regular voters. Donald Trump has been able, as a billionaire, to connect to the regular everyday man and worker, which has been beneficial to him. Hillary Clinton can't do that, and when she tries to, it comes off as very fake, and it's because it's not who she is, as we've seen on the campaign trail, but also now through these emails.
Yeah, imagine a billionaire as a man of the people. Up next, we have the media revelations. Let's start with Hillary being fed an actual debate question. We know that was Donna Brazile, the DNC chairwoman and CNN contributor. We have debate moderator John Harwood over at CNBC. I spoke with editor at townhall.com and Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. So here are some of the political revelations. Hillary Clinton hates everyday Americans. They referred to Hispanics as needy Latinos. Bernie Sanders is a doofus. Hard to argue with that one. The Clinton campaign pushed the Obama Muslim narrative, which they had denied.
Right.
And she takes a public and a private position on things. And we all know the campaign was caught denigrating Catholics.
Right.
So, Katie, when you look at this and you combine this with saying that Bernie Sanders supporters are basement dwellers and Trump people are a basket of deplorables, this party and Hillary Clinton, it's probably the most snobby campaign I've ever seen. He also promised to drain the swamp in Washington, shrink the government, fight for workers, unleash American energy, repeal Obamacare, dismantle and immediately select a Supreme Court justice, and let Americans keep more of their hard-earned money. But he did manage to step on his message a little bit.
Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign. Total fabrication. The events never happened. Never. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over.
Of course, the media seized on that instead of his popular policy proposals.